All right, back with another NFL team preview. The Buffalo Bills. Bills season ended last year in the snow against the Bengals. Everyone knows. Bills played their third worst offensive game and by far their worst defensive game all season in that playoff loss to Cincy. Buffalo struggled to move the ball, and the snow was the X factor in my opinion. Yes, the Bengals played in the same conditions, but their offense with Joe Burrow was much different than Josh Allen and the Bills, who like to kind of sling it around and rely on big plays and a lot of the complex route running, which is not exactly ideal outside in the cold and snow. I think the Bills have recognized this going forward and know in order to win it all, it's not going to be games inside a dome and controlled environments. So they've made some changes, like drafting hybrid tight end, wide receiver, this kid Dalton Kincaid, and made changes to the O-line at guard from the pass blocking lighter guards to a more run blocking O-line. Bills haven't really had an above average run game in years. The best part of their running game has been Josh Allen running it. I think we see more of like a traditional running game this season, which they haven't had. This will give them a change of pace, ability to sustain drives, and will better suit them come wintertime or playoff time. We could see a much different offense fundamentally. The NFL is a copycat league pretty much, and what teams have had success with recently is running what's called 12 personnel, which is two tight ends. The numbers reflect this too. Expected yards per play and success rate are 1 full yard more league wide, being run out of 12 personnel formations. Last season, the Bills ran the second fewest plays in the league with multiple tight ends. Bills ran primarily 3 wide receiver sets, which can become a bit predictable. Bills general manager Brandon Beane has talked about this new 11.5 personnel, he's calling it, referring to Dalton Kincaid, the tight end they drafted, which, of course, 11 personnel refers to 1 running back, 1 tight end. The 11.5 personnel is basically saying the rookie tight end is half tight end, half wide receiver. He calls this rookie Kincaid a versatile tight end that the league has never seen before. I guess we shall see. Tight ends are typically slower developers, more so than any other position, but we'll see. One addition I really do like is the sneaky pickup of wide receiver Deontay Hardy. Got them from the Saints. He was hurt most of last year, but in 2021, he was awesome, ranking 5th in yards per route ran and 7th in yards after the catch. The Bills don't have a ton to improve on from last season. They were a top 5 team in basically every metric. They led the NFL in point differential by a mile and did it playing 1 less game than the rest of most teams due to that Hamlin injury. Josh Allen finished 3rd in intended air yards and 2nd in completed air yards. The big play was their offense, and but that's where I see the change coming from, actually. Fewer deep shots, increased run rate, and kind of like a more methodical approach. Turnovers were a big issue for Buffalo last season. They fumbled 3rd most in the league and lost the 2nd most fumbles. The worst aspect for Josh Allen was in the red zone, where he led the NFL with 9 interceptions. What's crazy is he also finished with the 4th highest rate of dropped interceptions last season with 12. So he should have had more. One other issue was how bad Buffalo was on 3rd downs. They had the single biggest gap defensively from early down defense, where they were great, to 3rd down defense in EPA allowed, where they basically struggled all year. They allowed the 3rd most 20-plus yard pass completions on 3rd down. But it looks like they're prioritizing that issue too. Head coach Sean McDermott will now also take on the defensive coordinator title as well. It's not going to be easy for Buffalo to repeat the success from last season. I have Buffalo with the 2nd hardest strength of schedule this season. They face 4 teams that are rated inside my top 5. The back half of the schedule is just brutal. From weeks 9 on, they face 7 of the top 10 teams in Super Bowl odds, which include road games in Cincy, Philly, KC, Miami, and at the Chargers. Buffalo was so good last year that it doesn't even matter that they didn't do a ton to improve this offseason. They might be just as good this season as last season, but with fewer wins because of their strength of schedule. I project 11 wins out of this team, but that assumes Josh Allen stays healthy all year. His importance is as big as any single player. His elbow injury he suffered in Week 9 last season definitely impacted his play, and then, of course, the team. That's going to do it for the Buffalo Bills. 27 more teams to go. Next team up is the Denver Broncos, so be on the lookout for that.